Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome to my 300,000 subscriber question and answer video. Yeah, I know this is like 100,000 subs / 6 months too late, but hey, better late than never. So firstly, Crookerfucks123, Ill Will Press 100 are asking me about my PhD. And it's probably not a good idea to have this first in the video because I'm now going to bore you to sleep. Gosh, my PhD was related to using spectroradiometers to measure the biophysical variables of vegetation using spaceborne sensors. Or to put it in really simple terms, I was using fancy cameras that were situated on satellites to be able to see how dense the vegetation at a ground level would be, i.e. how many trees, how thick the grass would be, how well the crops are doing. Now, while this part of remote sensing has a variety of uses, one of the key outcomes is to measure more accurately the photosynthetic capabilities of an area of the planet's surface, which can then be fed into things like climate models. Now, to directly answer Ill Will Press's second part of his question, why did you pick to study that and go so far with your degree? So I really found my love of remote sensing while I was doing my undergraduate degree, and at that point I thought that I was going to go on to either lecture or just focus all down in research, or you kind of have to do both of them at the same time. However, during the process of completing my PhD, one of the big turnoffs for me was just the turnaround time on feedback and actually putting your ideas into action. And that's something that I might fall back on in the future, but for now I'm doing what I love and I have no intention of stopping. Next up, Geometry-Dark Zone TV says, how good were you in Shul? Well, I guess I was good enough in Shul to realize there's a C somewhere in there, buddy. No, but all jokes aside, you know what? I was pretty much average. Now, while I had great talent, I didn't really put it into practice, I have to admit. I had too much fun while I was at school. I played tons of sport, was always around my mate's house, and yeah, played far too many video games. But when I started my undergraduate and my postgraduate degree, that's where I really started to enjoy what I was doing and knuckle down, and I guess I was successful with it. But for everyone out there who is still in education, I thoroughly recommend you put as much effort into it as you can, because otherwise later on you will regret it. And also, competition just seems to be getting so much harder every year that goes on, as well as university fees getting more and more expensive. I guess everything's just getting a little bit more serious these days, right? So Raccoon says, how are you not getting bored of World of Tanks? What motivates you to play it, in brackets apart from your YouTube channel, of course? Well, Raccoon, before I even started making videos on World of Tanks or streaming it, I'd already played about 10,000 games in the first year to a year and a half that it had been released. And I really think it just boils down to the fact that I think it's a fantastic game. I love the fact that it's combining the FPS experience with the MMO style of progression. And I also think it's a very rewarding experience for somebody who wants to try and outthink their opponents rather than just try and out-micro them, such as you would get in a pure FPS or a pure RTS game. I think one of the key reasons why I'm not getting bored in World of Tanks is because, frankly, I don't overplay it. I play about 3 or 4 times a week for about 5 hours. And while sure, that is a lot of time, I don't feel like it breaches into the area of where somebody might start to burn out. I also really love the fact that every game of World of Tanks just feels a little bit different. Be it the matchup that you have, maybe how skilled your team is compared to the enemy team. And it just feels like a little bit of a puzzle, like you have to try and solve and then use your skill to be able to get through it. And really the only other FPS game which has kind of done that for me was Natural Selection, if anyone played that, which I played to pieces, and I still do occasionally play NS2. Well, Mike Dane says, what does a perfect Saturday look like for you? Well, firstly, to have nothing pressing on you. That's a very refreshing feeling for me, to not have a little bit of extra work that you have to do. Maybe you have to ring up the water company and pay your bill or something like that. I think it's very important, and I'm very guilty of this, to switch off and try and distance yourself from all of your daily routine as much as possible. And then it's going to be the simple things that I really enjoy. Maybe a stroll, meeting up with friends and family, having a tasty meal either out or cooking it myself. I really enjoy, and I find cooking very therapeutic. And then no better way to cap it off than to hopefully have some kind of interesting film to watch. Electric Razor asks, if you had to change the focus of your channel away from World of Tanks, what game would you like to cover? Well, hopefully many of you have seen recently that I actually did a review of Doom, and it was very well received. It got pretty much the same amount of views and likes that a World of Tanks video would get. And I also covered Total War Warhammer, of which I made a couple of videos, some army guides, and I'm still looking for time to be able to get back into it. And again, those videos were very well received. They got just as many likes and just as many views as my World of Tanks videos would get. And so while there's no doubt that this channel is currently focused on World of Tanks and will continue to be for the foreseeable future, future. It is so refreshing and empowering to feel like you guys still enjoy other content when I want to put it out. And so if for some reason Wargaming decided that they were going to shut down the World of Tanks servers in the next month or two, I would just play a variety of other games, play all the latest releases, and to try and do what I've always done, which is to share my love of gaming with you guys in a as positive but also intelligent way as possible. Next up, Yasin Budakana says, can you make a question and answer video with your wife? This is definitely something that I'm very interested in doing and is a great idea for the future. Next up, Stajian Eversdik, I'm absolutely butchering your name, I expect, asks if I play Water Tanks Blitz and what would I like to change or add to it. Yeah, I did play Water Tanks Blitz. I managed to get up to tier 6. I think I got a KV-1S and also a Cromwell, both fantastic tanks. I had a really good time playing it. But then I hit this wall where I realized that I didn't really want to continue playing the tanks because I've already played them on the PC version. And also I found I was playing World of Tanks just everywhere, and I think it would get too much for me in the end. With regards to what I would change or add to it, I think that they should just try and keep incorporating aspects from the PC. I think they're bringing in training rooms soon, and that's something that will be really awesome for it, right? Next up, Myman MC says, multiple questions. Will you get Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PC? What map do you like the most and hate the most in World of Tanks, and will you do a day in the life of QuickyBaby? Well, number one, I've already bought Grand Theft Auto 5, and frankly, I just played it for about half an hour. It's definitely something that looks incredible, and I should certainly get into it, but it's just trying to find the extra day of the week, right? What map do I like the most and hate the most in World of Tanks? Well, I quite like assaulting on Sand River. I don't mind if I'm defending or attacking. I really like that kind of ridgeline engagement. But that's if I just had to pick one. What map do I really not like at the moment? Probably Live Oaks, because I really feel that it's not very balanced at all, and that the team that just sits in the base and gets their butt whooped. And I think if Wargaming need to change one map, it's probably that one. It's just a very boring map to play because it feels like it's won or lost depending on who takes that dip. And finally, would I do a day in the life of QuickyBaby? I guess I could, but you know what? It might seem that my life is very exciting, but it's probably not very different to yours. And so a day in the life of QuickyBaby would be probably rather chill and disappointing for you. Hey, Private Benji says, QB, have you ever got to the point of not doing content creation anymore and thought of giving it up? Well, not yet. Frankly, I've got more ideas than I have time to put into action with regards to the content that I want to produce. But sure, maybe there are some times once a month or once every few months where I'm just feeling low on energy and I'd rather not stick to my schedule. But I respect all of you guys more than that, and so I try to not deviate from it too much. Next up, Jonathan McKay asks, do you wear pants when doing your videos as we only see your top half? Vortex Hunter has a very detailed question. How did you start your channel from the root? How did Wargaming notice that you play their games? Do they pay you for playing their games and posting onto YouTube? And then Vortex says a load of nice things which I'm really thankful for. So I started my YouTube channel in early 2012 and I drew a lot of inspiration from some popular streamers of League of Legends. And frankly, I just had some awesome World of Tanks gameplay that I really wanted to share with the community, and I didn't really see too many people doing the same thing. But in mid 2012, I really found that I thoroughly enjoyed streaming on Twitch TV, and I became the first English-speaking World of Tanks streamer to be partnered with them, I think in very early 2013. And then a few months later, I became the first World of Tanks-focused Twitch channel, irrelevant of language, to enter the Twitch subscription program, and started back on YouTube to do high-quality post-game commentaries to really go into depth of the gameplay that sometimes I couldn't communicate while I was streaming. Wargaming first noticed me in 2012 when I got to meet Ryan, aka Ektar, at Tankfest. And for the next few years, he was a regular attending my stream and also a few of my YouTube videos. But when Ektar became a community manager at Wargaming, I felt like taking up his time a little less. And at that point, Wargaming were really making more and more content producers contributors. And so I guess that meant there was a little less Ektar to go around, hey? Vortex next asks if Wargaming pays me to play their games and posting them onto YouTube. Nope. Nobody has ever paid me a penny, a cent, whatever, to post a video on YouTube. The money that I get from YouTube does not come from Wargaming, it comes straight from Google, and that's whenever you watch an advert on this channel, I get a percentage of that. Next up, Brooksy asks if doing my PhD was as daunting as it seemed when I was a graduate. Yeah, it truly was daunting. Nothing else in my life has ever made me feel that anxious or as close to failure as my PhD did. And that's because, frankly, up until the point of PhD, all of the work that you're doing has kind of been done by other people, and you just need to demonstrate your ability to be able to learn from them and then almost amalgamate their knowledge. And the key difference with a PhD is that you have to add to your discipline. It's no longer enough to be able to just amalgamate what other people have done. You have to produce the work yourself. And I guess the whole point is that you're pushing the boundaries of knowledge, and that's why you will earn your philosophy doctorate. Next up, Lissy asks if I have any bad habits. Hold on. Wife, what are my bad habits? Apparently my bad habits are not being able to switch off quickly, from work. So apparently I overthink, and also I don't like to pack suitcases myself. Well, you heard it here first, guys. And finally, PJ Co 666 says, after achieving those milestones mentioned in the video, graduating and your wedding, are you, in brackets, with Peppy? I hope it would be with Peppy. Thinking about having a QuickyBaby? Yeah, but all jokes aside, for sure, one day I want to have a family, just not right now. I've got a lot of things that I want to sort out before then get myself into a real secure position. And also, Tanya has just finished her first year of her psychology with clinical psychology degrees, so she's definitely a little bit busy as well. So thank you all so much for your awesome questions. I'm really sorry it took me 100,000 subscribers or 6 months to be able to get back and answer them, but hey, better late than never. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.